Let's talk about hedonism. This has been on the top of my mind for a very long time, and to some extent, it's how I live my life. And I've put a lot of thought into hedonism. I studied a little bit of philosophy. I'm not an expert on philosophy, so don't expect the answers of how to live your life to come from this video. I am in my mid 40s, so I'm not a young kid that is talking about some idea and I'm going to change that idea anytime soon. I put a lot of thought into this. I think hedonism is the way to go. I'm going to try to explain why in a short video on YouTube without any questions or anything. It would definitely help if I did a live stream and I had some people who have put some thought into it. But anyway, nightclub. Can you hear it? You can hear the nightclubs. This is the outdoor area. You can see the beautiful view. There's, if you can hear it, there's a bunch of nightclubs right down there. Let's go. Elevator, boom, nightclub, pull, elevator, pull girl back inside. 5 minutes. So we've got a outdoor area here. It's late at night, it's windy, that's why I'm standing over there. Got the infinity pool, you can kind of see it. That's the infinity pool. It's a beautiful, beautiful spot. It's just a little bit windy. And I decided that this would be a great time to talk about hedonism late at night. Now, when I think about hedonism, I think it's an addiction. It's having an addiction to enjoyment, basically, enjoying your life. And when you think about it, what what is wrong with that? Okay, so there's damaging hedonistic pursuits. I would say someone who has a fatty who has an addiction to chocolate um, and McDonald's and salt and sugar, and they don't know when to switch it off, and then just over time it just damages their body and they die, just being overweight from just eating the wrong food. uh, gambling addiction. What's the damage that can be caused by gambling? Well, if you don't have enough money, you're gonna have to quit, right? If you have an addictive personality and you cannot keep your addiction going for the rest of your life, it's probably something you shouldn't do. you know uh, you know uh, the other one would be drug addiction. The only time I see a homeless drug addict that is miserable is when they run out of drugs. Generally, an alcoholic or a drug addict that's homeless on the side of the street, there's a guy that packs up a crack pipe or a bong to smoke marijuana out the front of the 7-Eleven in Sydney CBD. And the only time he's miserable and yelling and screaming at people on the street is when he runs out of crack or weed. And he gives zero fucks. He'll do it in front of everybody. Zero fucks. Amount of times he's packing up a bong literally at the front door of on George Street at 7-Eleven. The only time that he's miserable is when he runs out of marijuana or drugs. So what I'd be thinking is, okay, well, then you need to plan to make sure that you have a lifetime of drugs. And it might destroy your body in between too. There's, I guess, some healthy hedonistic pursuits would be someone who has an unhealthy, well, kind of healthy addiction to lifting weights and doing exercise. You're hedonistically pursuing the pleasure that comes from whatever you prefer, whatever that thing is. Now, one of the healthiest ones, apart from being a gym junkie, I would say would be pursuing sex with unlimited women for the rest of your life. Yeah, that's a problem. How? The only problem will be when you cannot get girls anymore. And there could come a point where your junk doesn't work anymore and you're too old and you don't really want to chase girls anymore. But if you can continue to get girls consistently, then you can probably pursue this for a very long time. And if you have the skills to do so, you probably could as well. Now, there's there is a belief out there. I think it's some sort of a religious thing. It's out of the Bible or something where you are supposed to work for whatever reason. You're supposed to work and work and work. It sounds like something that a government would put together. The idea that you should just work forever, pay taxes, um, do the right thing because it says it in the Bible or something. I know a bunch of Bible bashers that are part of my extended family that I grew up in. They're not good people. They're bad people. They're evil people. A lot of them are very bad people. Um, but they will go down and work to. Well, there's one guy that's in the family, and he works down in the church, and he's in his late 60s or early 70s, and it's almost like he never grew up. He never became a man. Never. He's out there working in the church to try to get a pat on the back from his stepfather. No, not stepfather. His father-in-law. His wife's father. You know, it's almost like a lot of these. A lot of the brainwashing in society comes from some sort of a government or something. And I'd always think about it and I think that's not exactly how I want to live. And it's not as if I need to live that way. If I guess if I was born into a third world country or something, the hustle would be greater, wouldn't it? Like a really poor country where there's almost no way I can get out. Um, and I'd have to, work continuously just to keep a roof over my head, I guess. But even then, there's got to be a way out. But when I think about my life, uh, basically from the very beginning, it has always been. It's like my it's like my junk has led the way always. I remember just being, my first few jobs. I'd be at work and I'm like, I gotta be here for 8 hours. I'm horny. I want to chase some pussy. And like doing a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, I'm just like horny all day. I was working in construction. I was on construction sites, and I can see a lot of the guys there. They'll put like porn up in the lunchroom and in the toilets and everything, and they're like whistling at girls walking by. It's a real thing. Um, but I'm like, I I got to get out of here and chase some girls. I need to get my hedonistic, get it off my chest. It's better than drugs, better than gambling. It's better than any other addiction, I would say. Better than an addiction to sugar or just eating fast food and, just gluttony, eating too much. That's a form of hedonism because they enjoy it, right? I'd say one of the healthiest ones has to be chasing sex. And the more I think about it, the more I think that is the pursuit. So, when you die, what do you leave behind? Let's just say you have 100 children and you die. Let's just say you're the most famous man in the world and you've saved the world and you're the smartest man in the world and you're the Elon Musk and the Donald Trump and you're the Brad Pitt. You're the best of the best. when you're dead, you're dead. Um, and who's to say that that junkie on the side of the road, homeless, when the majority of his day he's on crack or whatever, weed, out the front of the 7-Eleven, takes some crack, smokes some weed, walks in the 7-Eleven, gets possibly the tastiest coffee he's ever tasted in his life every single day. Who's living a better life? Sure, visually, and sure, we can talk about the accolades of an Elon Musk or someone who's awesome. But at the end of their lives, who is really who really lived a better life? I don't know. What about, you know, actually in the dating industry, we talk about this all the time. We criticize guys that play video games and smoke weed and play video games. I see it all the time. Red pill guys saying that guys who play video games, smoke a lot of weed, oh, they should be lifting weights and taking steroids, and they should be working on construction sites, and, you know, they should be playing rugby union and tackling men and fighting men in the street and making lots of money. But who's to say that that guy who's, you know, his life is just kind of melting away while he plays video games all day long, and he's smoking weed and he can't remember exactly what happened yesterday or what's happening today. But in the moment, he's just hedonistically playing video games all day long, you know, just his life is just passing by. Who's to say that he is not making the right decision? Let's just say there's a God out there and he's looking down. Like, sure, we know who the Nelson Mandela, or the, you know, I don't know, like, who people who we put on a pedestal that have saved the world somehow, or, you know, the superstar actor like Brad Pitt or whatever. You know, the probability of you becoming one of those people is very low. You could probably spend the rest of your life trying to achieve some sort of greatness and never achieve it. There's a lot of luck involved. Like, even my YouTube channel, people, every now and then I get comments like, "Why aren't you getting enough views?" It's like, the algorithm, dummy. It's like when someone is struggling to pay the bills. It's the economy, stupid. Um, the algorithm favors Americans because it's owned by America. Duh. And I'm not American. So, you know, there's a lot of people like myself out there that can pursue views or something to try to build their business and never get those views because there's luck involved. And to some extent, there are there are other options like playing video games and being hedonistic. And, you know, someone like myself, if I wasn't so horny all the time and I wasn't keen to chase girls, you know, since I was really young, then I wouldn't be pursuing this hedonistic sort of pursuit. I've been away now a few months. I've left Australia. I'm now living in Asia, just chasing pussy all day, basically chasing pussy so much that I forget to make videos. Um, and that's hedonistic. I definitely wouldn't be on the other side of the world doing this if I got the same enjoyment out of playing video games or being homeless out the front of 7-Eleven smoking crack. I'd be doing that. The only problem with, like, gambling or, um, you know, taking drugs or eating food that makes you fat is you die, you run out of money, or you have a drug overdose and die as well. Um, But again, this is why I keep going back to explaining to people that, unless you get HIV or some sort of STD and that's it, or you break your dick in a sex accident, you're good. It's a healthy pursuit. You're out there walking. I've got iron calves. I'm out there walking all the time. I'm sociable. I'm out there being sociable, meeting people all the time. Um, I would say it's the winning pursuit, hedonism. So, yeah, I guess I didn't really go into too much depth. I would like to have a conversation about this where I can bounce ideas and people can ask questions, because I have put a lot of thought into this, and um, I'd like someone to try to talk me out of it, try to tell me that becoming a carpenter and spending the rest of my days helping the local church build a footpath or some shit is the best way to live my life, and paying taxes for the government. Um, and then one day just getting sick and being injured, and I had a few hip replacements. You know, that was that's an eye opener. It's like, let's try and get hedonistic now before it's too late. But anyway, if you want to join me and become hedonistic as well, I suggest you sign up to the 30-day challenge. It's a real simple product. It's the links on the channel somewhere or on the website. Um, Purchase the 30-day challenge. They'll get you approaching girls. It's nice and easy. And if you would like to join me in Asia and do an immersion and go chase girls and become hedonistic with me, you are welcome to sign up to an immersion and do that with me as well. I do believe it is the right way to live your life. I honestly do. Sign up to the 30-day challenge, and if you have any questions, or we should do a live stream on this, I would like to bounce ideas off people. I'm sure a lot of people would like to talk me out of this being the right pursuit. I think it is. Um, Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.